Hey everybody, Thomas here, and I'm with Mr. Robert, and we're going to go over a few things about the Cook's Cat Claw dual tooth setter. Mr. Robert's been running this setter for what, three-ish?
3.5 years.
Yeah, 3.5 years. And if you've seen our other video, the man knows what he's talking about, and he talks to a lot of other people who have this same machine. And what he's going to talk about now is just some of the intricacies of running this equipment, kind of how to keep her maintained, and talking about set. So take it away, Mr. Robert.
Okay, on a previous video that Thomas shot in here, I had just got this. I hadn't had it too long, but I had used it. I hadn't had it long, but I had set quite a few blades with it. Over a period of time, you'll notice that these dial indicators are not, what they're saying is actually not what you're getting on your tooth. I have this handheld dial indicator here that I trust more than I do these on this machine. And I'll get into that and tell you why. How I really noticed it, I was setting some blades, and I like to set right at 20 thousandths. Well, the left hand side, I call that tooth the inside tooth, my left, and the outside mashing to the outside, my right hand side. Well, the inside of my inside teeth, even though I had the height of the blade adjusted where it was fitting just right on my anvils, I try to go a 1/16 down below the tip of the tooth, depending on how your blade is hardened, if it's a double hardened or just a standard blade or whatever. Some of them are really super hard, and if you press too high up on the tip of that tooth, you're going to snap that tooth off. Well, I got to noticing that the inboard side, it would snap a tooth off, the outboard side never would. So I acquired this handheld indicator from Thomas here. It actually belongs to him. And what this indicator was reading was different from what that was reading. So when I put a blade on here, I raise the blade up and I get in the gullets between the teeth, and I zero my dial indicators. Cooks will tell you to get on a neutral tooth. You got a left, a right, and a straight, the raker tooth. They'll tell you to get on the raker tooth and adjust your left hand indicator. Then move it, advance it to where that same tooth is on your right hand and adjust it. Zero these indicators out. That's what Cooks will tell you to do, and it's their equipment, and that's how they do it, so that's all well and good. That's not how I do it. I get on the body of the blade, I raise the body of the blade up and get in between the gullets on the flat part of the blade, and I zero out these two indicators. Even when I do that, when I set the tooth, it reads different from what the handheld indicator is telling you.
About how far off is it?
It's several thousandths. It's 6 to 8 thousandths sometimes difference. So what I learned to do for a long time, I would zero this out on the blade. Then I would advance. I would set several teeth, even though this may read 15, and on here it was actually 20. This may read 14 or 16, and it was 20. So I would not set to 20 according to what these indicators read. I would set below that, and then I would check it after I got on out here, and I would have my 20 thousandths. And I was satisfied with that. I did that for a long time. Then I had some other friends, some telephone friends, and some friends I had met that had bought this equipment, and they were having problems with it also. So I called Cooks up down there, and I said, listen, I'm having this. I explained the problem I was having with them, and I talked to one of their representatives down there, and we went through step by step. We loosened everything on this thing up via telephone conversation, and started from zero, resetting this dual tooth indicator up. So on your cam, you have these cams down here at the bottom, and we loosen those up. You have two here, and you have two around here, and I got those where they were exactly the same. I have a piece of stock here trying to find out where that's
I
at.
don't see it right now.
I don't see it either. It's in here somewhere. But anyway, I put it in there, and I got the same. Whenever I would bring this up, I adjusted these two cams down here where I had the same amount of pressure and the same gap, or the same gap, in this block and this block. Well, that still didn't solve my problem. So the man that I was talking to down there told me to loosen these 4 cap screws right here. So I loosened those up. That's it. That's the piece I put in there. I loosened it up. Actually, it goes this way. Loosen these 2 screws up so these 2 blocks were loose. And I brought this up to where they equal themselves out. Then I tightened them back down. That helped the problem a little bit. It corrected it a good bit, let me say. So if you have that problem, start right here. Get your same amount of pressure on this block and this block with these cams. Then loosen this up right here, these 4 screws, and let it equalize out. And whenever you've got this blade in here, you look down and you don't want no deflection.
Okay, so you're talking about these 2 blocks.
These 2 blocks right here.
Okay.
You loosen those up, and then when you bring that up, they will equal themselves out.
Okay.
So that helped a whole lot.
And then the cams on the bottom, you're talking about these 2 cams down.
These 2 right here.
Yep.
These 2 right here.
Yep. So
that's just a grade 5 bolt.
Yep.
And it rides on a cam in here, and that's what gives you your
detention and tension. Yep.
And your compression right here is what I call it. I also took those little screws out that were right here, and I bought these knobs at the local hardware store.
Is that how you say that?
It's knob.
Okay.
K-N-O-B.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Knob. I bought these and I put them on there. Of course, they were big and they wouldn't turn. So I got on my grinder and I ground them down, and then I cut the notches back in them. I did that myself.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So it works pretty good now. So they clear one another. You don't want to get your finger in there because that does hurt. But anyway, that's just a little bit about the setter. I wanted to talk about that just a little bit, and maybe that'll help some of you guys out there who has a piece of equipment like this.
And would you mind if I put your information down below?
No.
Yeah, so
I'd be glad to talk to anybody. How I feel about this and how Thomas feels about this is I'm getting old. However, my son has come out here with me.
And he's doing a fantastic job.
He's doing a great job. He started out, he cleans my blades, and he's setting my blades. And he's doing a great job. And I have taught him a little bit about the sharpening. So, but what I don't want to happen is I don't want this craft or this trade to go away. There's always going to be somebody out there with a sawmill, and they got to get their blade sharpened somewhere. And a lot of these blade manufacturers are not sharpening blades anymore. So it's be up to people like me, and I can name you several more people who have bought this equipment or similar equipment, and they're doing it. So,
and that's something we're going to try to do. I know we've had a lot of people contact us about shipping blades to Mr. Robert. And Mr. Robert, since his son is helping him, and since he has both of his sharpeners here now, his production rate has increased. Yeah. So he's able to take on a few more jobs and everything. But also in the description below, we always get people asking, hey, I'm in such and such state. Is there anyone near me? So we're going to see if we can put the contact information for the individuals who want to have that put out there. We'll talk about, we got people in West Virginia, Maine, Georgia. I mean, just kind of all over. And then there's people like Jerry's Resharp. Jerry's Resharp did a great job. I know Timber King used to offer sharpening services. I don't think they offer that anymore. It's through another third party now. There's like he said, there's a lot of people getting out of this. And we did run through some blade shortages a while back. But I will say,
that seems to have gotten a little better.
Yes, it has. Yeah, and then we'll put also, again, in the description below, some of the good blades that we like to use. Kennesaw, Georgia at Kensaw, they run a Mumford Sauger blade. Jerry's Resharp runs a Ripper 37. Wood-Mizer, Joe Main runs the silver tips. And then Meisenheimer runs the Nicholson stock.
Yeah. Or SE Metals in Georgia. Did you name them?
No, I haven't met them.
SE Metals in Georgia. They use Ripper. They're
Yep.
Ripper 37s.
But all in all these blade manufacturers, I mean, they're all pretty good. I mean, a blade, you know, they're usually time tested, and then people are not shy on a lot of these forums. They'll say if the blade's crap, and well, there are a few blades we don't like. 747s, don't like them.
How you doing?
Some people do. They are a pain to sharp and set. They just snaggletooth.
You got to have the right cam to sharpen those.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to have one, but you got to have the right cam, or you'll cut the top of that tooth off by half.
And lickety split. But this is we're trying to, like you said, we're trying to spread the information. Our initial video we had on this, I wanted to do something a little bit different since I'm here with Mr. Robert for this week. But going over, this man has taken this machine apart many a times, put it back together. He believes in oiling his equipment. She stays well oiled and everything. And
Oil and air are your best friends.
That's
I
exactly
have
right.
an air hose hanging right here out of the ceiling. Keep everything lubricated. It works better. Cuts down on the friction. Makes everything work smooth. And every time I do a blade, I grab that air hose right over there and I blow it off. I blow off my sharpeners also.
Mm-hmm. So this is just a quick video about the setter, the dual tooth setter. He's also used a single tooth setter. Single tooth setter is a great tool to use, and I would say it's probably more accurate too. I mean, I mean, you're doing one tooth at a time, then you invert the blade, you do the other side.
That's right.
And they're quite a bit.
Right there.
Exactly, they're quite a bit less expensive, and if you're just doing it for yourself, it's not a bad thing. And Mr. Robert did that for many years. But this is just a quick video on this. Please check our other video where we actually the full, you know, from cleaning to setting to sharpening video as another good one to reference. But we just want to put some information out here and talk about all the good things that he's learned on this machine.
Show this right here, Thomas.
Yes,
when
sir.
I was talking about getting on the flat of the blade between the gullets, between the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I put my blade in here and I raise it up and I bring it in. And you can see I'm right almost zero there,
Mm-hmm.
and right at zero here.
Exactly.
That's how I zero my indicators.
Mm-hmm.
Now cooks will tell you to get on a straight tooth, which is this one right here,
Mm-hmm.
and zero it.
And so you're off.
I'm off a little
You're
bit.
about -3 on
So
that
I'm
one.
going to put it right there. Then I'm going to bring that same tooth to this one. And same thing here, about 3/1000.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it either way you prefer. Cooks will tell you to do it that way. I tell you that I do it this way.
Yeah, on the actual flat of the blade.
On the actual flat of the blade. And that's how I'm going to do it. However you feel comfortable doing it with your machine, that's what you need to do.
Okay.
Okay, I hope that was helpful. Maybe answer some questions. Maybe it created some. If it did, if you'd like to call and talk to me, I'd be glad to talk to you. I'll be right now telling you right now that I do not know everything. I have been doing this a long time and I know how to do it, but do I know everything? No. Don't claim to. Every time I come out here, I learn something a little different. One of my friends will call me up and say, I've got this little problem here. Have you experienced that? I say, yes, I have, and let's investigate that and figure it out. And 3 or 4 people working on the same problem, usually you come up with maybe 2 different solutions, but one of them probably worked for you.
Exactly. Collaborate.
That's it.
Network. Meet other people who are sawyers, who are sharpeners, and then it'll make life a much easier journey. Don't be a hermit. Get out there and meet some people.
Exactly.
So again,
this is a good piece of equipment.
yes, it is.
I'm not knocking. I wouldn't knock Cook's equipment. It's really good. It's fast. Once you set this up and you do 200 or 300, 400 blades, you can go on through here pretty quick. You can set a blade. You learn how to do this. Set it. Get your teeth. You get the set that you want, and you can go around the blade in just a couple of minutes. Doesn't take long.
Exactly.
Now, it seems like it may take a long time us out here, but we're setting it up and show, but we're talking a lot. Thomas and I like to talk. So
I think I'm the winner, though.
Thomas is the winner.
I can talk.
But anyway, it doesn't take long. Once you get this piece of equipment, if you choose to buy one of these or if you already have one, and you get discouraged with it, just get right back out there with it. Says, you're not going to whip my tail today. I'm going to figure you out. And you get it and you go with it. It's a good piece of equipment.
Exactly. So again, hope this helped you out. Please like, subscribe, check out our other videos about that. And now we're going to switch to a different video, and we're going to talk about the sharpeners. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you around.